Elevated Grapes Podcast.
Elevated Grapes Podcast.
With your host, Sethi.
Your host, Sethi.
And Stylist Rashi Bindra.
It's time to get started.
Let's talk fashion, shall we? So welcome to Elevated Grapes. I am your host, Sethi.
And I'm co-host and stylist Rashi Bindra.
So today we have Linda with us. She's the founder and CEO of Style App. It's an online app for stylists, professional stylists, to work with clients and do exactly what they do, style. So Linda, thank you so much for being with us and for sharing your story and journey with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful to be here.
So Linda, tell us a little bit more. Oh, sorry. Everyone's excited to hear about it. Everyone's super excited to hear about this. So tell us a bit about your app and your business and how it came about.
Okay, how it came about. Okay, there is a little bit of a long story, but I had a couple whispers in life, and my big aha moment was this. I was in bed one night thinking of a Christmas gift for my son, and I thought, okay, he really needs a pair of jeans. And I thought, okay, I'll just go out to the mall tomorrow and I'll buy him some. But then I thought, he's not going to wear what I, pick out because he'll say, oh, you're just a mom. What could you possibly know about fashion? So I thought, yeah, right. And so I thought, okay, I'll give him a gift of money. He'll go out. He can buy himself whatever he likes. But then I remember the last time he went shopping by himself, he needed a pair of pants and he came home with a $400 belt. And let me tell you, he could not afford that belt. So I thought, okay, there has to be a better way for him to shop with someone who has his best interests, someone that can help him, that's an expert. And honestly, at that moment, the app idea was born. It came to me like a bolt of lightning. So, and not just for him, I thought of creating this app. It was even someone for like myself. Some of us were indecisive. We go to the store. We don't know what to buy. You go to a place where they're on commission, hence you come home with a $400 belt, or, you go to the other stores and, the stylists are tending cash or they're busy folding clothes, and you're asking them in the changing room, hey, how does this look good on me? And so, yeah, it wasn't just for him. It was just like a light bulb moment. I just thought this is really needed, for all of us who are indecisive or don't know what to buy.
I have a quick sidebar question. Now that you have this app, does he listen to your styling advice?
No. No. And he probably never will, which is fine, I'm the title of mom for him, and that's fine.
Yeah. I was like,
and
maybe
and that doesn't change.
Exactly. I was like, maybe he'll take you a little more seriously now because now you're in the business,
But I love that story, though. It's so true. It's so true. Like, first of all, people that should listen to you are not going to listen, hence the whole moms and sons. And I mean, I'll be honest, I don't always listen to my mom either, but she will give the same suggestions. But like my friend does, I'm like, oh yeah, I should actually do this or wear this. And she'd be like, I told you that. So totally get that. But I love how that idea came about. And so you thought about it, and then how did you get the ball rolling, I guess?
Yeah. Huge journey I've been on for about a year and a half. Just started researching, stylists and other apps. I really couldn't believe that there is no other app out there that does what mine does. There's a number of them that have the styling subscriptions and they come to your doorstep. But really, I was astonished that there was no convenient, because, nowadays we need everything convenient. We live by our phones. That there was no app out there to connect, people to actually shop together. And so that's kind of, then I thought, okay, then this was a consumer-driven app. So there was a need, there wasn't a solution. And I thought, okay, here's my calling. And I've loved every minute of this journey. And so I decided I'm going to, start developing it. And and that's what I did.
So how does so two parts to it? Obviously, there's stylists that you have that you deploy for clients who need it, and then obviously clients on the flip side. Well, start on one side, or we can call it the supply side of the equation. How do you find stylists to actually work with you to work with your clients? Like, how do you source these stylists?
Yeah, so that's a great question. When I first, started the app, I first of all, I just put out an ad out there, and it was funny. There was quite a few candidates that said that they were stylists, but when you looked at their resume, they really weren't. So I really wanted to make sure
Right.
on the you get someone who just doesn't say they're a stylist. That I want to make sure that they had minimum 2-3 years of styling experience, and most importantly, some formal education or training in styling, because then I knew I was getting the real deal on the app. And that's what I want to make sure customers had, not just someone saying, yeah, I can style my friend here.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a screening process in place.
Yeah. And I do interview, each and every stylist to make sure, because, it's a personality. You want to make sure that you work with someone who's very personable, friendly, and, knows what they're doing. So, yeah. So I interview everyone as well. And, yeah, so it's been a lot. The response has been overwhelming, to say the least.
So talk to me a bit about that side of it, where you talk about formal training versus someone who maybe just has an actual knack for it, because there are some people out there like that that may not have the formal training but are quite good at it. So how do you decide, as you're interviewing and talking to your potential candidates, that this may or may not be the right fit?
Well, first of all, I kind of tell them about the app, of how it works, because we're a little different than just maybe someone normally styling. I find what they do, they want to meet up with the client beforehand or give them a questionnaire. So what our app is the entire process is with the client. Like, there's no pre-work. So then I first have to make sure they're a good fit, that they want to work this way, that you meet the client and you start the journey together with the client and decide, what directions to style them. And then, I look at their resume, to see, and make sure that they worked in styling, not just maybe came out of school, because like I said, I want to make sure that I've got the experience and the formal training. And the training is, Toronto Fashion Academy, downtown Toronto. I've worked with them. I've hired a number of stylists. They're fantastic. They have a great program, geared towards styling. And then, so I would say Toronto Fashion Academy must be, I think it's my favorite right now, because of their program. It's just, I feel like it's really geared towards, what I'm looking for.
So yeah, you're finding a home for where you can get your candidates.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I can even tell you a little bit about the app, of kind of how it works.
Yeah, please.
That
was my next
simple.
question.
Yeah, okay. So on the app, the client decides where they want to shop, and we have a number of locations. So they can say, I want to go shop at Yorkdale. They choose what day. So let's say they want to shop at Yorkdale on Saturday at 2:00, and they want to shop for women's business attire and maybe, shoes. And then on the app, they get to view all the stylist profiles, so they can see, who they want to work with. And they see their qualifications, a little bit of a bio about themselves, and or they can choose to be paired with a stylist. And then what they do, they send the request to the stylist, and if the stylist can accept the request at that date and time, then the customer will pay seamlessly through the app. We have an in-app payment Stripe. And then after the client pays, then the two are connected through a chat option on the app. I think it was a pretty clever idea, because then the two can chat and say, hey, maybe just had a baby, not feeling so great, or simple as I'm running 5-10 minutes late, or let's meet in front of the bay. So the two can, chat before a little bit, the meeting. And then you actually shop together with the stylist, because it's funny, a lot of people think that you FaceTime the stylist but you actually physically, that's why it sounds funny to say it, but I say it because I've been asked that you actually physically shop together with a personal stylist in the mall together, and you're shopping with someone who has your best interest. And so, and if the stylist and the customer decide that more time is needed, I created an additional time option on the app. They go, if the stylist is available on the app, you can pay for additional time. And then another great feature is at the end of the session, the client actually gets to rate the stylist. So let's say that maybe I've made, a bad decision maybe on who I've hired. Marketplace will tell us if the stylist is really a true stylist, and, knows how to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If someone is not up to par, it's quickly and easily you can figure that out.
Yeah, and and Linda, like, to your point, and you're right. It does sound funny when we say that, oh, you're gonna shop with your stylist in a mall, but the process of, I mean, and even from a stylist point, and you know, Sadr, I know you've also done this. When as a stylist you're meeting that customer and taking them to stores, you actually do have their best interest, especially if you're not affiliated with them. Because in the past, stylists would also have certain relationships with stores or brands, so they would always gear their customers to that place. But I think now with all the changes that are happening, if you especially don't have that relationship, you know, it's a very different feeling of wanting to see your client look the best, have the best, and all you're focused on is helping them find that look and that right fit. Because you have you're only proving or caring how your client looks, not your relationships with other brands or stores or like anything like that. And that makes a huge difference, I find.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and stylists like yourselves, that's what they've told me about, you know, the job, is that they're so excited to have the entire canvas of a mall to work with. And they're just ecstatic, you know. Normally, like you said, they work with one particular store, and they're, quite frankly, you know, they're sick of styling, you know, different people with the same outfit. So that exactly what you said. That's why they're so excited to work on the app.
You know, typically that's like I'll pick a day, and it's like if I know the person. I've had, for example, a couple of people like, I want to go to Square One, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if that's the right place for you. We're gonna go to Yorkdale because I know I can find stuff that's gonna suit you at Yorkdale just based on me knowing what I know of you. So, so I think that in person, especially right now where we're getting a lot of these virtual style type of outfits or programs, it's like, you know, someone just kind of like ask, like you said, a questionnaire, and on that basis they're online like sort of finding you some ideas. But you know, I feel that in person impact or touch is just, it makes
Very
that world of
different.
difference when you see that. Like, you know, sometimes you can think, like I can think, even if I see something online, even for myself, okay, this I'm gonna buy this, it's gonna look good on me because I know my style. I get it. It comes in. I try it on, and it looks like absolute garbage. You know, it happens. But if you're in that store and you're able to try it on and feel the fabric against your skin, look at the skin color and the skin tone of the outfit with the skin and that sort of thing, like you automatically can see whether this is going to work for that person or not. And as a stylist, that makes such a big difference if you have that opportunity to actually do it in person.
I totally agree. And that's another reason why I came up with the app. I thought, am I the only one who has the most horrible experience with online shopping? Right? It comes and you're in between two sizes and you wish you bought the other size, or you thought, oh, that's not the color, or what about when they say, oh, and now you owe, you know, Mr. Deliveryman a duty because you bought from the United States and you got, you know, the exchange rate, and then you got the duty, and you're like, okay, that really wasn't worth it.
From online is good if it's a piece that's not too expensive, or if it's a piece that you've bought from that store before and you already know how it fits on you, and now maybe ordering a second round of it or maybe a different color of that piece. That's okay. But you know, if you're buying new things that are of value or higher ticket prices, then that becomes a challenge to make that decision online, because you're like, well, what if it comes? I mean, you can still return it, but you know, it's not the same. It's not the same feeling.
And sometimes I find like what you see online and what you receive is not always the same
Two
thing.
different things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Recently, I don't know why, and I think, okay, so because my last 2-3 weeks have been hectic, which is a good thing because now with things opening up and just, you know, getting back into that routine, I had a gift card and I heard that those stores were closing down very soon. So I'm like, okay, I have a gift card. I can shop online. I don't have to leave my house. I don't technically have to pay for it. I have a gift card. Woohoo, yay. So I go online, I shop, whatever. And then the package arrived today and I looked at the dress and I was like, really? I wasted my gift card money on this? Like, it's not what it looked like. If I should have just gone to the store and I would still be disappointed.
I totally agree. And as a woman, sometimes if you buy like a skirt or a dress, I'm particular on where I like it to, you know, to hit my, right? And I'm like, no.
Like, really? I put my money on this one. So now I'm just praying that, I mean, I haven't tried it on yet, but just looking at the fabric, I was like, I just hope this sits where I want it to sit, because at least I'll look somewhat nice when I leave my house now. But definitely not the best experience. So I do understand the need for shopping in person, whether it's a mall, whether it's a front end shop. That makes a big difference in your wardrobe.
Linda, how did you figure out your price point for your customers, and is it different based on the type of shopping that they're looking to do?
Actually, that was a great question. A lot of research on just the going rates. And, to be honest with you, I was going, I've looked at all different price ranges, and I wanted to fit into the industry, for lack of a better word. I didn't want to cheapen the industry. I wanted,
Right.
personal stylists, they are worth the money. They come with a immense knowledge, like we said, other than just going to a store and talking to a sales associate. So it was a lot of market research on it. And it's actually on the app, you're not obligated to buy anything, which further enhances the best interest of the client, the stylist has. I'm sure the client is going to purchase, a lot of things from the mall, but it's really just using the stylist knowledge of saying, hey, what looks good on me? And it's a flat rate. I have a $45 per hour for the styling session. And and on to that, I'm thinking about most likely launching this fall another tier level onto the app. It's going to be called the Red Carpet Stylist. And that is going to be a higher level of styling experience, because I realize that not all personal stylists, should be paid the same and come with the same service.
Right.
So the Red Carpet Stylist would be like 10 years plus styling service, having styled celebrities in the Toronto area. So that's something that we're going to be launching, like I said, hopefully by the end of this year.
That's fantastic, and it's a cool service for almost bringing a luxury end to the
Mhm.
program.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, and and we're actually thinking about, we want to promote within as well. So, I told all the stylists whom I've hired, this is, starting out, as just a regular stylist, I want people to grow with me. So,
Right.
yeah. So it's exciting.
Have you received any sort of pushback from customers on pricing or on any stylists? Like, have you had any constructive criticism as you've been learning through this program the
Um,
process so far?
Yeah, actually, well, because we launched I'll back up a little bit. So
Sure.
Apple approved my app the day COVID-19 shut down our
Oh
world.
no.
Yeah, so we are launching through COVID, which, it's hard enough to launch
Right.
anything, and now through COVID. So I'm calling this our real soft launch.
Right.
So yeah. But so far, I've a lot of people have suggested, like I said, maybe I should give out some discounts for the styling session. But my pushback is, when you go and get your hair done at the salon, if you tell the hairstylist you're going to come back every 4 weeks, would she give you, a discount? And
Exactly.
right. And I don't want, like I said, I don't want to, cheapen the service. Personal
Yeah.
style, is, they come with a wealth of knowledge. And I feel like, people should, they will, hopefully they will see the sense of work, what you pay.
And I think what a lot of people still don't grasp or understand is that you're willing to pay a crazy amount of money just to go get your hair done, to get your hair colored, to go back every 2-3 weeks for touch-ups, and or even do the same thing for your nails and things. But when it comes to personal styling, if you are quoting your value price to them, there's a lot of pushback. But they don't realize you're putting so much time and energy. And it's not just taking you to a mall or store and going shopping with you. We're becoming your friends. Essentially, we're getting to know you, your likes, your dislikes, your personality, your hopes, your dreams, because all of that does show in clothes, which is a sense of self-expression. And that's a lot of time, that's a lot of energy, and like you said, there's also a lot of knowledge, like according to your body type, according to your age makes a difference. Your how you wear your hair, how you color it, and even as a guy, how you approach life, what you want to wear. And Sadhara, I'm sure like you've had that with like your clients, how you approach life as well. What's your outlook makes a big difference, how you want to carry yourself, and it's time that goes into it really as well.
It is, and it's everything you
So
said. It's everything you said, right? Like we're understanding, their career. We're understanding their family life. We're understanding their personal activities and hobbies and passions and what they do outside of work and family. You know, all these little things make a difference because they're all an expression of who you are and what you're going to dress like. And because you're gonna deal with different occasions, different types of events, different types of get-togethers, depending on your interests and hobbies. And so I'm not going to go out and shop for something for you that's super high end, that's a luxury fashion wear to go to events when half your week and your weekends you're spending at friends' houses just having dinner and wine. So you gotta know that person to understand what they would be appropriate for them to buy. The pushback that sometimes I think that we as stylists would have to deal with is exactly what Rashi just mentioned, is helping to make sure people understand the value in what we're doing, right? Like all of us can talk about it till we're blue in the face, because we know, like, I know when I've seen people, walk out of a situation where Rashi has styled them versus what they thought style was before, and it's still night and day different. So when someone who has the capability comes in and does something with it, they can really bring that out in a person. What sort of things do you guys, maybe it's a question actually for both of you, would you guys sort of say to anybody that, or if they give that sort of as a feedback to you, like, I can dress off the mannequin. Why do I need someone to walk me around and tell me what to buy?
Well, first of all, when you feel good in an outfit, like how do you put a price on that,
Yeah.
right? When someone really gives you the confidence, and when you hear from an expert, they'll say this, you should be going down a size, and in this top or these pants, and they make you understand what looks great on your body and for, like you said, your age and how you want to carry yourself. And when you put on that outfit and you rock it, like you have confidence, really, like what's better than that, having confidence. So that's.
And Linda, you said it much, much nicer than I was going to respond. My my response was, well, why are you going to a hair salon? Why not go to Walmart, buy a box of hair color and color it yourself? Why you need to pay someone, $85, $150 to color your hair? Just do it by yourself. But you're going because there's an experience. There's someone who's understanding you, someone who's, making sure that they're mixing the right colors to enhance your features. And then you get that blowout and you leave the salon and you're just like, I feel like $1,000,000, like no matter what your day is like, it's suddenly up leveled. And so if you understand that value, why wouldn't you understand that same value when someone is saying, no, you're gorgeous, let's try this, and bam, you are looking like that, like $1,000,000, and you're feeling like that. And as you said, how do you put a price on that?
Yeah. And I mean, any person just has to look in their closet. If you go into your closet in the mornings and you're like, what am I going to wear? You see all black or white,
Yeah.
we gravitate towards a color. Then you just know yourself that, you're going shopping, but what are you buying?
Yeah. I think people have that tendency. It's this is automatic, a subconscious level of comfort with certain pieces and certain colors. So you just flock towards those, even if you think you're buying something different, and maybe it has a slightly different collar look, or it's a V-neck versus a crew neck, but at the same token, it's the exact same T-shirt,
Right.
that you're buying. It's the same black that's in your closet 14 times, right?
Right. Yeah, no, yeah. And that was even myself, I kind of looked in my closet one day thinking, I wear all the same type of dress. And I'm like, why aren't I exploring, different options? Because you're, like you said, you get in that comfort zone, and who wants to be in their comfort zone, especially after COVID. I feel like we all need.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Oh man, I can't wait to get back into a mall.
I know, right? Like I'm now slowly getting comfortable about going into mall, and I think this is also why I was like, I waited before I sent certain emails out to people. I just wanted to wait a little bit before I was like comfortable going back into the mall and everything. And one of the things I've noticed also when it comes to personal styling, and I'm sure Linda, you and this was one of the reasons you came up with this. I recently was chatting with my client, and she was doing some stuff with me, and she's like, Honestly, I'm actually a lot more feminine and girly, but I get shy to be like perceived that way. So I usually dress a little bit more like, jeans and t-shirt and runners, but she's like, I actually like being girly. So I was like, okay, so I'm super excited now because I'm like, this is a challenge that I'm like dying to like enhance, you know. And but that really hit home because we do get so scared of how other people perceive us that we get so shy of being who we really are. So when we do go shopping by ourselves, even if we want to, wear that like fluffy, girly, beautiful dress, we're like, no, but my boyfriend or my friends or my husband or like whatever the case is, right, might be like, well, what happened to you today? So then we kind of like go back into our comfort zones. And then as stylists, I find that especially when you're as passionate about it as I'm sure like all the stylists that are working with you and us, is that we want to bring that goal out and say, if this is how you really really feel, let's bring it out, and you should feel like that and look like that 24/7, really, right? So
Yeah, I love
yeah.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Linda, based on what you're seeing in the business trends so far, I know it's in quite in its infancy stage, but are you seeing more, sorry, the question is, what are you seeing more of in terms of stylists and clients, female and male, or on the stylist side, or male and female on the client side?
I have a lot of female stylists. And
Okay.
funny, I don't know why it's hard to find male stylists. Yeah, so yeah, right now, I know. That's why I'm looking at
The
them.
hint was right there.
And I hope to find more male stylists because, yeah, I want to give my clients, a nice selection of who they'd be comfortable working with,
Hmm.
So
Of
because
course.
on the app, you can see the person, the stylist picture and, like I said, a little biography about them. And yeah, but I hope to have more male stylists.
And on the client side, I mean, so and again, I know it's still quite infant, but infancy stage
Yeah.
for the company, but just in terms of what you're starting to see, are you seeing more female or male clients?
Female, but I do believe that I think the male clients are going to be a hidden gem. I really
Right.
believe, you're right. I feel
There's a
like,
ton of them.
right, right. I actually think they're going to be more than the females. But we'll see. And even like a younger clientele. So I would say right now my demographic is 25 to 45-year-old working
Mhm.
professionals.
Yep.
And especially moms who just had a baby. I know they're going through that transition and they want to feel good about themselves. So yeah, we have male and female as our client right now. Yeah, about that about 25 to 45 years of age.
Right, right. Okay, so guys, why don't we take a quick break right here, and then we'll be back shortly after this message.
And everybody, we are back to our amazing episode. Today we're talking with Linda, and she is the founder, CEO, president. Like, she's basically the brain behind this amazing style app where you as a client can find personal stylist with the click of a button, well, or a few buttons, but that's the idea of the app. It's actually really amazing. So welcome back, Linda, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
And prior to our break, we were chatting about, how we have a lot of male clientele that's going to be our hidden gem. But and since the app is focused, on clients and personal stylists, what about personal shopping? Like, how does that play into the style app, and how is that different from having personal stylist on the app?
Yeah, great question. So on the app, as I mentioned before, we had like a chat option so the client and the stylist can communicate together. So through there, you can actually, the stylist can be a personal shopper. And so the app is really not like a cookie cutter system where each stylist is going to do the same thing, which I love about it. I want all the stylist, artistry to come through. So just do the chat option. The client can say, hey, I'm sitting on this bench, you shop for me, or can you you please, buy the gift, for my wife. So personal shopping can be done on the app. And even more importantly, right now, maybe during COVID, a lot of people I understand don't want to go into the mall. So using our app and having our stylist, personal shop for the client, I think, that's a great benefit of the app right now. And like I said, so
Wow.
yeah. So I think, so like I said, each stylist will do it differently. And, and I wanted it to be that way. I did not want, for me to say, to the stylist, this is how you handle a session for personal shopping, or this is how you handle it
Right.
for, so, I wanted, cause it's a beautiful industry, and so I didn't want to.
So once the client and stylist are matched or connected together, you do give the stylist sort of a bit of freedom to work through their process and working with their client.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And some will say, you know what, I prefer to meet with, and they'll tell the client, I would like an hour session with you, or I would like to sit with you. And, and they do have a questionnaire that, that they use, which is totally fine to get
Right.
to know, the person, whether through personal styling or personal shopping. Some may just want to say, let's just start the process together. So yeah, I just thought that was, the way to create the app.
And talking about creating the app, so I mean, and I'm fascinated how like you said, I mean, we've like heard the story, but the fact that this app actually exists and you've implemented the personal shopping, aspect to it, which a lot of people don't realize also makes a huge difference. And many department stores offer that services, but they don't kind of see how that works together. What made you what was the journey from, okay, this was the idea that I had in bed during
Yeah.
Christmas time, and now it's come
It's a
to
business.
life?
Yeah, it was a huge journey. So what I did, I started researching to see if there were other platforms out there that offered styling. And, we all know the beloved Stitch Fix, which actually isn't available here in Canada.
It's not. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's great when it works out, when you get a delivery at home, whether online shopping or using, an app like that one. Because when online shopping works, it works. It's great. But
Right.
I found that it didn't work for me. And I thought, didn't work for me, didn't work for you, didn't work for you. Then,
There's a market.
right, then there's a market. Yeah. So it was really hard, so a lot of research went into to malls, what services do they offer? Everyone talks about malls are dying out. I researched, the foot traffic of the malls, and the malls here in Canada are actually, thriving well. Okay, pre-COVID. Now
Right.
we have no idea what's going to happen, but compared to the United States, Canadian malls were doing well. And, people go to malls. If you think about it, and I feel people go to the malls for an outfit. Yes, we have wonderful, fantastic boutiques, but when you go into those, they already have a really good trained, stylist that's in the mall, in that boutique.
Yes.
But when you go into a mall, which most of us do because I like a selection, right? You're on your own.
Absolutely. And then that too, like if even if some of the stores do have someone that may be a stylist to a degree, they're only specific to that one store, right? They're not looking at the variety of option outside of that store. Maybe the client can find something that's a bit more fitting or a bit more to their personality that's not in that specific store.
Right. And I think maybe we've all been to that store where, the salesperson, she's trying to help you, but she fills your dressing room with, let's say, 10, dresses, and, only to be greeted by, wow, that looks great on you. I'm like, no, I look like my mom, or I look like a teenage daughter that I don't have.
Yeah, it's like everything looks great on you as soon as they see it.
Right. And then, and then when you can't return something, and I mean, I even found myself sometimes, just like, saying to my husband, hey, does this look good on me? Trying to get a real opinion,
Absolutely. I think that's really important too as a stylist, is to be very honest with your client. I mean, and it's not to be rude or anything of that sort, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're trusting you to help them out with this service. And if you tell them something looks good and they go back and get 10 different pieces of feedback from close friends saying, well, what are you thinking with that? That's not a good testament to your work, I think, in that stage. I mean, you may not always get the the thumbs up, but more often than not, you're getting the thumbs down as a stylist. I mean, you got to be careful about making sure that you're sending them out in the right piece and not just saying they look good just to make the client happy and want to, walk out with a smile per se. I mean, you want them to be happy, but you want them also to look good. And if something doesn't look good on them, you got to tell them.
Right. Yep, exactly. And that's what this is all about. We want people to look good, to feel good, and we want to say, hey, we got your back. We're shopping with you. There's no pressure to buy, we're only here for you. And like, what a service, like what a treatment, like someone, to have your best interest. So that's why, I mean, I'm biased, but I think it's, it's a great app.
It's a very prestige concierge type service, and that's it's important. And just like we said, you need a professional in different areas of your life. So this is just another area of your life where a professional can add that value.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And the absolute convenience of an app, like I said.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of websites out there, and you can find, but really, if you just say, where would you find a personal stylist? It's kind of hard, but but if you have your phone out and what I want the app to be is a more of right now you can book same day service, but what I've always envisioned with the app was to be in the mall saying, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm shopping for. Go on the app, and within 15 minutes of searching and book an appointment with a stylist. I think that would be great, especially during the holiday season when we're all at the mall trying to find that great gift, and you're like, oh God, so that's but right now we request 1 hour prior to booking, but try to work that down to about 15 minutes to be a true on-demand styling service.
Which is fair. What do you see, Linda, with I mean, fast fashion is the buzz lingo nowadays, right? So what do you see with sort of trends in the fashion industry or the fashion with retail fashion right now?
Yeah, I do think fast fashion is, on its way out. And that's another benefit of the app, that if you shop with an expert stylist, they will teach you maybe buying a real quality piece. Yeah, it may have been a budget that you may have not spent before, but they'll show you that you can reuse and how to, wear a number of ways, a real quality piece, because we've all been there. You go to the stores that are very affordable, but then, after a wash or two, they just, don't look well. So that's why I think it's important is, we're all worried about the environment. I mean, I can't stand, plastic bags or anything, or even plastic water bottles.
Right.
I mean, I think, and after COVID, I don't know, I think maybe we all feel that way, that we're worried about, the planet, and we want to live our best life. And again, I feel like this service will make you look good, feel good, and then you don't have to buy, so many pieces. Buy some quality pieces, they'll look great on you. A stylist can show you how to, wear them more than one way. And
exactly.
It's better than that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but with that in mind, do you see a growth plan for the company itself now?
Well, we are launched right now in Toronto. So we're in about 7 malls and 1 bridal boutique. And
Very nice.
the plan is to go to Vancouver next. And we're going to go across Canada, but my plan is Vancouver and Montreal, Ottawa, to Calgary, to Edmonton. And I'm going to go on a limb and say, and I really want to go into the United States. So right now we're in Toronto, Canada, United States. And so big plans, but
Absolutely.
one day at a time right now.
Yeah, world domination.
Yeah, and it can happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I think it'd be great as a stylist, like if you're on the app and let's just say, hey, you're going to the United States, for the weekend, and, you're in Pittsburgh and you want to pick up a client. Well, you're already on the app and,
go with it.
Ahead.
Works out.
Absolutely. So some very exciting plans. And is there any sort of thoughts in terms of time frame as to when you think you might move from Toronto into building into Vancouver and the other provinces?
Vancouver, I'm doing 6 months right now. My plan is February. Yeah.
Awesome.
And about 6 to 7 months, August. So August of next year, 1 year from now, I would like to go to Montreal. So that's my 1 year plan to enter those
Very
two.
good.
Yeah.
Montreal's a fashion hub, as Rashi biasly said.
Yes, the craftsmanship, I have yet to see that in Toronto, and I'm being very open and honest with it. The type of art and passion and craftsmanship that the Montreal designers have, I have been here for 6 years. I've gone to a lot of fashion shows. I've done my dues, done my personal styling, done my fashion styling. I have yet to see that attention to detail and that art from the pieces here. And this is not to say I hate my Toronto fashion community. Like, I'm very grateful, and there's so much talent here as well, but there's a different artistic flair from Montreal, and I'm being very slightly biased and open about it.
So tell us, Linda, where do people get, like, how do they download the app? Where do they access it? Where do they find you online? What are your socials so they can look up some more information about the app and its service?
Right. So we're on the App Store, and the app name is called Style. Get a Stylist. You can download it today. It's readily available. In our Instagram page and Facebook, we're styleapp.inc. And our Instagram page, we post inspiring pictures. Right now, we're not posting client before and afters, but we want to post inspiring pictures. So maybe you can say to your stylist, "Hey, I really like this look or that look,"
Right.
what I'm posting all the time, females and males, and also we do brides and grooms on the app. I have a bridal store.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I do feel like there's a lot of Toronto's a big city, and a lot of like, let's, for instance, people come from Windsor. Possibly they
Yes.
come and live here, and they can't get their mom to help them go bridal shopping. So shopping with the personal stylist to help you pick out that bride's dress would be great. But God knows what's happening right now during COVID and all of
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, and then our website, we're at thestyleapp.ca.
Perfect. Well, Linda, thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey thus far with us. We can't wait to see how it continues and the growth that you're talking about. It sounds really exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to come back on at some time. And,
Absolutely.
yeah, we can touch base of where my predictions went.
Yeah. I'd love to touch base in 6 months or a year, have you back on and see how things are moving along. And hopefully that time we're not as bogged down with COVID and there's a bit
Mhm.
more activity.
Right. Yeah, I hope. I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely. Well, thank you again. Really appreciate your time, Linda, and we look forward to seeing your growth now.
Thank you. This
Thank
has
you
been
so much, Linda. Hmm.
And to our listener, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Bye now. Hey guys, thank you for watching that podcast or that video. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more of us and see some of our behind the scenes stuff, subscribe below.
Yes, hit that little red button thingy that's over there and hit subscribe and keep following us for a lot more cool fun stuff.
Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you soon.